Hello and welcome along to a very special episode of this Dorking Wanderers FM20 story with me, Daniel. It's season 10 episode 7 and today we play Liverpool in the FA Cup quarter final. That's right, we come up against Marcelo Gallardo's team in a downpour at Crawley Town's home. This could be the game that gives us an opportunity to A, get our own stadium for next year, B, continue to improve our facilities, and C, eventually become a Premier League team. The financial benefits are already very clear, and I'm sure they'll get even better afterwards. We're in 10th place in the Championship, looking very solid in that league. We've finally ended our winless run in the last game as well. Everything's looking pretty rosy still. It's been a remarkable first season in the Championship. Both comfortably staying up, being in a dogfight for the playoffs for the first half of the year, and now being in an FA Cup quarter final. It's been a really special season. We've got no threat of relegation. We were secured safety with about 15 games to go. It was incredible. And today we get to focus on our biggest game of our career. We do so with a huge crisis. We've got Zach Council ineligible against his parent club, Lewis James suspended, Stefan Moles picked up a knock in midweek, and Peter McLaughlin's been out for 3 or 4. So we're nowhere near full strength. We've got a couple of other issues too. But otherwise, we can't complain. Just being here is incredible. So we'll go and get into that in a moment. We'll also have a look at the youth mentoring groups, which obviously we postponed in the last episode. If you want to know how we got to this quarter final, then do click back in the eye above to catch up with the season so far. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the series. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do put a thumbs up on the video, especially if you're looking forward to this massive game today. It's an incredible achievement and I'm really looking forward to it. I've never hidden the fact it's my favourite competition. If you haven't already and you want to keep up to date, make sure you subscribe and turn that notification bell on down below. Get alerts as all the new episodes come out on the channel. We've got daily FM20 content from our 2 long-term stories, this one and the head coach, which has reached a crucial point. And then finally our 2 new series every Sunday. We've had 1 episode of our FM20 network career. That continues this Sunday at midday. And then our stadium review series, Review the 92, which is back on Sunday at the usual time of 4:30. So thank you for all of your support with these new series. I do appreciate the support for the content on the channel. But let's go and get into this day with Dorking Wanderers. And we'll start as we plan to with the mentoring groups. So we've actually gone for 3 smaller groups now, where before we've only had 1 big group most of the time. Now this is my preferred method. This is definitely the most successful method. Has a quick impact. They're working with 1 key player and you've got 2 youngsters with them. Always works brilliantly. So you can see the top group, we've got 1 key player, 2 players with not much influence. And in the other 2 groups, we've got 1 key player and 3 players with not much influence. That's just because we've got a lot more leaders now. So Tordov's reached 24, he's a resolute personality, he's also now a team leader as well, the same as Stefan Moles in Group 3. And then in mentoring Group 1 we've got Luke Thomas, who's now highly influential, fairly professional, so he's working with 2 of the other youngsters too. So it really is a good sign for us that we're able to do this. Obviously before we just had Jake Gallagher for years and nobody else, so he had to manage all of the young players. But to get the real top best potential out of most, this is the way we need to work. So we've got the likes of Adrian Bentley, who we hope will be a star in the future, Peter McLaughlin, Craig Maguire, so many others including the youngsters in on loan. And we want to help them become top players. So this is the setup we've gone for. We've always got one who's significant or average in terms of their influence. They always have to be the best, strongest personality. And then we have the balanced and fickle and ones like that. They're the ones who go and learn. If they've got an average influence on the group, they go out the mentoring groups. We sacrifice one to help 3 or 4 others. And in this occasion, I think it's going to work. So that's the way we're working at the moment. We'll keep our eye on the progress of some of these youngsters. The likes of Maguire, McLaughlin, even Adrian Bentley, I suppose now, but George Burns, they've all come on leaps and bounds this year. Carl Carroll's really improving off the pitch. It's really working and you can see it, which is great. So that's what we're working on at the moment. That's what's going on behind the scenes. We're still doing all of our little odd bits in individual training. Just 1 or 2 joined in January that we're not doing that for. And a couple of the more experienced ones like Cotter, where we just need to keep them on an even keel. But otherwise, this season's been a remarkable success. Of course, the improved facilities do help. So if we go to the club facilities, we've now got just below average training facilities and basic youth facilities, and we'll continue to improve them each season. Despite that, our finances are still up this year as we've continued to make big money sales. And that means this summer we can work on them again and maybe even get a new stadium on the go. But that's all for the future. We'll look at that in an episode or 2. We've got our youth intake coming in next episode as well. It's not the best one in the world, don't expect much, but we are going to gradually improve as we go along. The most important thing today though, and the thing that's going to help us as we move through to this one, is our form. Our form has improved, we've won a game. We've got an average dressing room atmosphere, but it's just starting to creep up. Good team cohesion, excellent managerial support, and more importantly, a win in the league. So only 3 games off camera since the last episode. A defeat at Sheffield Wednesday. We were the better side. I don't know how we lost it so convincingly. Brendan Lindsay getting himself a goal again though. Aaron White getting his first for the club at home to Millwall, although we were pegged back straight afterwards. And then a 1-0 win against bottom of the league Ipswich in midweek. Alan Tordoff scored an absolute screamer. Unfortunately, Stefan Mole's got himself a little injury. But otherwise, a win and back in form. We're on TV today for the FA Cup quarter-final. 120,000 we're getting for that. And I'm sure we're going to have a sellout as well. And a bit of other news to talk about too. In terms of Liverpool, they're heavy favourites. They've got 1 player out injured, far less than us. 1 player suspended, they've got. But we are down to the bare bones. We've got 19 fit players. Manny Cook, the only man missing out on the bench, just because John Webb's there already. And it doesn't look like we've got the huge difference makers if we need them. And do you know what, actually, in fact, I'm going to swap Morgan and Manny Cook. Because Manny Cook, I've just noticed, is the only central midfielder on the bench now. So that's a little bit of a trouble for us. Aaron White's not quite fit, but he's an Everton youth player, so I'm pinning my hopes on that. And the rest of the 18 is as follows. We've got Mark Bull in goal. That's an obvious choice. Barry Cotter in at right back for the suspended James. Thomas at left back with Walker and Parsons at centre half. Bentley and Smith in midfield as both Moles and Tordoff are out. Tordoff switching over to the right wing. That allows Zach Council to drop out because he's ineligible against his parent club. And in central attacking midfield, it's George Burns for the end of Peter McLaughlin, Aaron White in on a left wing, and Brendan Lindsay up front. We are still missing a couple of others, as we mentioned, so our bench is a little bit weaker than usual. Just the odd game changer if we need them on the bench. But let's see if these lads can do something really, really special. In we go to the FA Cup quarter-final. There's a place at Wembley up for grabs for Dorking Wanderers. Okay, it's a 4-1-4-1. Again, that empty stand is still there in the sold-out ground. I've no idea why. But a 4-1-4-1, lots of regens for Liverpool. Does that mean they're playing a younger team, or does that mean they've just got good young players? Because the squad numbers are quite low. There's number 3, 5, 8, 6. You have to imagine that they're all good players. Trent Alexander-Arnold skipper, he's still a star there, I've no doubt. Youngsters like Fedorov on the bench. But I think this is going to be a real tough test for us. So we're going to remind the lads there is no pressure on them at all. We're going to go out with our usual positive mentality first 10 or 15 minutes. Going to try and keep on the front foot as we go through the tunnel interview. And if it goes badly, then we'll drop to balanced. But 5 minutes gone, no highlights so far. Though Liverpool pick up the ball on halfway here. Munoz with a free kick flicked on. Parsons away to Bentley. He finds Burns. Beats one. Hasn't really got much ahead, but goes long for Lindsay. He's in 1-on-1. Oh, it's just wide. Oh, it was a great chance. What a chance that was to nick a smash and grab. It could have been the perfect start for Dorking, but as it is, it remains 0-0 here at Crawley Stadium. We're just under half an hour gone. Liverpool with a corner. Oh, it's poor. To concede from a set piece of all things is something I really can't stand. We've been defensively solid all year, but it was flicked on at the near post by Todibo to his centre-half partner. Munoz there unmarked at the back post. And we really should have done better with that. But 10 minutes to the break, we've only conceded 2 shots on target. We are going to drop to a balanced mentality. And at half-time, it's going to be Dorking Wanderers 0, Liverpool 1 in the FA Cup quarter-final. So we're going to sympathise with the lads. They've really worked hard. They've been decent as well, we've got to be honest. And into the second half we go. Barry Cotter plays short to Parsons at the back. Looks a little bit risky here. Don't want to give that away. Goes back to Ball. Poor ball to Walker, but we're working our way out of it. Walker switches to Tordoff. Really good football to get out of that place. Lindsay gets there. Oh, he's off. That's a horrendous tackle. Brendan Lindsay has barely got a booking in his time here in a year and a half. Turns up with one of the worst tackles I have ever seen. Where on earth did he get that from? He's had 1 yellow card all season. He just went flying in. I mean, the cup tie's now over. I'm going to replace Burns. Or should I even replace White? Because he's the man who's knackered. So let's get Burns on the left wing. Inverted winger on support. Up front, Aaron White's going to be replaced by Webb. He'll go as the advance forward on attack. And we've just got to hope we can nick one on the break. But that is crushing for us. To come from absolutely nowhere. We'd worked the ball out well as well. He just didn't need to make the challenge. So you could imagine this going wrong here. Robert with a corner. Ball punches. Burns can't get there. Shot just hits the post again. Thomas clears it away. It's out for a throw-in. And I'm slightly deflated now. We didn't need this to happen. We didn't need Lindsay to go in there. Why did he feel the need? I'll never know the answer to that question. A rush of blood to the head in probably the biggest game of his career. And if his parent club Tottenham are watching this, they're going to look and think, is he the sort of player we can rely on long term? And the answer to that's probably going to be no. Torloff's had a poor game. He's on a yellow as well. We definitely can't afford to go down to 10. So Craig Maguire's going to come on for him. Adrian Bentley's had a poor game in the middle. I've got no other options. He's not coming off. I think we're going to go Luke Thomas. He's the most tired. Shane Thompson on at left back, the youngster. But with 15 to go, we're doing well to keep it to 1. But I don't think we're going to be able to find a goal here. 4-4-1, 10 men against 11. And Liverpool are a fantastic side. So well done to Liverpool. Our FA Cup run is going to end. It's a shame that it's happened in the circumstances it has, but even now we've put up a decent fight and we've gone attacking for the 3 minutes of stoppage time, but Liverpool playing out nicely from the back. It's Glaucio out to the left. Look, they've beaten the press and now they've got plenty of numbers forward. Here's Crow. Good challenge by Cotter, but he's miles out of position now and I'm sure they'll just switch it. They don't, they keep it short. Liverpool really professionally seeing this game out now. Out to Smith on the left-hand side. Cotter's closing him, but he can't quite get there. Back to Otero. He cuts inside. Adalberto, now Glaucio. Not really going anywhere, but they finally find that through ball on the left. Switch of play out to the right back. Alexander-Arnold. Back to Tennis. Arnold again. They're not in a rush to get this ball in. No, they do eventually. There's Crow. Good save ball. And unfortunately, we nearly let in a second. But we do hold out. It's just a 1-0 defeat. Dorking Wanderers 0. Liverpool 1. The FA Cup dream is over. And Brendan Lindsay cost us the game there. We really had a chance until he got sent off. So Brendan Lindsay, I'm not happy with you, but generally the effort was fantastic. To only lose 1-0 to the third best side in England, and even then they've won loads of competitions in this series. If we go back and have a look, let me just go and show you the competitions they've won. Since 2019, the 10 years of this save, they won the Champions League last season. I mean, that's incredible. They won the Premier League the year before that. They won the European Super Cup at the start of this season. They won the FA Cup a few years back, the Carabao Cup a couple of years ago as well. They're an incredible side, and we've managed to almost hold them. So a 1-0 defeat with 10 men. I've no idea what Brendan Lindsay was thinking. Does anyone have an idea where that's come from? We're not going to appeal it because it was an awful tackle. As soon as he lunged in, I went, that's never going to work. How many days have we got till our next game? 2 weeks. Right, Jack Walker can go on a week's holiday then. He's been struggling for a little while. So we're going to send Jack Walker on holiday. Just make sure he's fit for that run-in. We don't want to slide too far down the league. I know it's been a brilliant season. We've stayed up no matter what. But we want to make sure that we've still got people available. We've got to make sure that we finish as high as possible. It makes our summer easier. It means that we've got that intensity. We've got something to build on next year. And we keep a bit of that momentum. We don't want to go 20 without a win. So let's deal with this press conference. The only reason I'm going to do it on camera today is because I want to see if they mention that stupid tackle. The players worked hard. We'll be dealing with Brendan Lindsay's red card. He needs to know that's not acceptable. We saw enough to build on. Of course we did. Frustration at a lack of shots on target. That's so unrealistic. I'm not happy with that. But as it stands, a difficult result for Dorking Wanderers, but a really promising performance again. Brendan Lindsay letting us down, which isn't something we were appreciating. And we've got to worry about a Friday night game after the internationals. So hopefully we'll be in a better shape than Pompey after that. Of course they'll have Ben Barrett in goal, the man that we nearly signed in January. Let's see what he's doing now. Is he still playing for them? Ben Barrett in goal. No new contract yet, so his value is still creeping down. Though Mark Ball's doing a good job for us. We've got to be fair on that front. And Portsmouth again having a really good season after promotion. So definitely the man for us. Nice on Thomas Cotton. It's not the Thomas Cotton we had there. Someone from Kettering, a club we managed in the head coach, of course. But if we go and have a look at the schedule, we've got a few injuries to contend with. We'll, of course, have Council and Lewis James back soon. And because we've sort of petered out of that race for the playoffs, I think we're just going to skip through to the last game. So it'll be Hull City away from home on the 29th of April. Whereabouts are they in the table? I'm not quite sure. They're up in 5th. So those and Leeds, actually, the last two, they're probably fighting for the last couple of playoff spots. So that's going to make the end of the season very difficult. We did win 2-0 in the home fixture against Hull, so it does give us something to build on. And we've got a lot of home games between now and then to hopefully get our form back. But I do want to focus on giving some of the youngsters football. The likes of Shane Thompson, the likes in midfield of Adrian Bentley, just getting them game time, building their reputations, building their confidence at the higher level of football, and hopefully building their attributes too. We've done it with a couple of others this season and we'll try and do it with more. Of course we know which loan players we're going to be keeping next season. That will make a difference too. And we'll try and make sure we finish the season fairly strongly. So next time we will face Hull City in the final game of the season. We'll also have a review of our youth intake, which probably isn't going to be great based on the preview again. We'll also go and have a look at some of the training to see if other players are improving and some of our plans ahead for the summer. We'll then have our end of season review. That'll be a big one for us as we go through our first transfer window as an established championship side. We'll have to try and improve the facilities as well, so hopefully we'll get some news on that next time out, and maybe we'll even have some stadium news too. But if you did enjoy this episode and that half-4 defeat against Liverpool, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I know I'm a bit deflated because the FA Cup runs over, but apart from Brendan Lindsay's stupidity, I'm really proud of the display. The lads have fought so hard, we didn't have an attacking threat and we lost one of our attacking players. But otherwise we did the best we could. Defensively we looked fairly solid against a top level side, and after the last couple of months where we struggled a little bit, it's good to do that against a big team. Let me know in the comments what you would do as we start to plan for the summer, what sort of players you would build around, where in the squad we need to improve, which of the first 11 are you not happy with long term. And we'll discuss that in the next episode and the end of year review as we look to try and move ahead into our second championship season. Again, the most important thing will be preventing second season syndrome. We don't want to go down. We've got to make sure we survive until we've got all these facilities built up, and then we can start to focus on the pitch. But it's got to be a realistic build, and we've got to help the things that will help us long term. Until we get a tycoon, we can't ignore all the bits off the pitch. They're so crucial to our success, and they're going to be the most important focus for us over the next couple of years. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content. We've got 2 long-term stories, this one with Dorking Wanderers and our head coach series as well. In that one we've had a very interesting week, lots of job offers, changes, we've managed a new club as well, so I'll put a link to that in the eye above. Make sure you catch up with this season so far. I really do appreciate your support with both, it has meant a lot over the last few weeks, and I hope you continue to find some enjoyment during the lockdown to hopefully get us through a difficult time. Finally, as I mentioned earlier on in the episode, I've got 2 new series on Sundays, an FM20 network career with a co-host that started last weekend. A massive thank you to everyone that supported that. It's gone down far better than I could have expected. If you have missed it, there's a link in the eye above, and of course we'll be back with another one at lunchtime on Sunday, and then at 4:30 on the same day we'll have our stadium review series, 2 episodes into that already, and thank you again for your continued support. I hope you enjoy it. It's quite interactive, so come and let us know your opinions too. But a big thanks for watching this one and your continued support as always. I really do appreciate it, although it was a difficult day. But we've got to be proud of an FA Cup quarter-final appearance, and hopefully there'll be more of them to come in the future. We'll be back for the last game of the season next time, as well as our youth intake here at Dorking Wanderers, and then we can start to plan for our second season at this level, and hopefully we can make it a special one.